Selling a little or a lot, Shopify helps you do your thing, however you cha-ching. Shopify is the global commerce platform that helps you sell at every stage of your business. From the launch your online shop stage to the first real life store stage, all the way to do we just hit 1 million orders stage? Shopify's there to help you grow. Whether you're selling scented soap or offering outdoor outfits, Shopify helps you sell everywhere. From their all-in-one e-commerce platform to their in-person POS system, wherever and whatever you're selling, Shopify's got you covered. Shopify helps you turn browsers into buyers with the internet's best converting checkout, 36% better on average compared to other leading commerce platforms. And sell more with less effort thanks to Shopify Magic, your AI-powered all-star. Shopify powers 10% of all e-commerce in the US, and Shopify's the global force behind Allbirds, Rothy's, and Brooklinen, and millions of other entrepreneurs of every size across 175 countries. Plus, Shopify's award-winning help is there to support your success every step of the way. Because businesses that grow with Shopify. Sign up for a $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/audioboom, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/audioboom now to grow your business no matter what stage you're in. Shopify.com/audioboom.
From a personal journey to better health to becoming a TikTok viral sensation, experience the life-changing health benefits of Mila Mia More. Providing supplements that support a healthy diet and active lifestyle, Mila Mia More's products are trusted by thousands of families, including mine. Yep, your girl Kimmy B. And I highly encourage you to learn more, read the raving reviews, and order now at milamiamore.com. That's MILAMIAMOR.com. Mila Mia More. Cheers to a long, healthy life.
He broke his ankle. Throws and it's caught. Touchdown. Drops back to goal. It's picked up. Touchdown. Snapped under pressure. Ball is straight.
This is the Mean Gene Show
on ESPN 97.5 and 92.5
from the Veritex Community Bank Studios. Here's Mean Gene.
Pack it up, pack it in. Well, let me begin. I came to win, battle me, that's a sin. I won't ever slack up. Punk, you better back up. Try and play the role and you're the whole crew will act up. Get up, stand up, come on, throw your hands up. If you got the feeling, jump up.
Getting you ready for real football. No more meaningless football. And I am joined by my co-host, and that is Jacob Meadows. Jacob, you still with us?
Yes, sir. You know I am. What is up, Mean Gene?
Let's do it, man. Let's do it. That first hour went by pretty fast. You know, this USC and LSU game is still on. It's pretty good. I believe that's the second quarter. They are close to getting to halftime. USC leading LSU 10-7. So USC, I think, is the 23rd ranked team in the country versus the 13th ranked team. So this is good stuff here. These two teams don't meet often, but looks like a great game now. I think it's in Las Vegas, a place that we are very familiar with.
Yeah, it's the Vegas Kickoff Classic.
That's what it's like. I can recognize that. So anyway, how about that? In case you missed any part of the first hour, you can always go back and get it. It's the Mean Gene Show audio boom. You can just download it, listen to it, and dissect it, do anything you want to do with it. Right, and we talked a little bit about the NFC South. This hour, we are going to discuss the NFC North. Now, it's going to get interesting this hour because, you know, Dustin represented the Panthers, so my nephew, Tony, is going to come on and do the same for the Bears. Now, just not any family nephew, okay? He knows his sports, and he knows it well. As a matter of fact, he graduated from broadcasting school. You know, we keep it in the family, AJ. You know, so anyway, he's gonna. I
can't wait to talk to him. This will be my first time getting to talk to him.
Yeah, he knows his stuff. He's gonna make the case why the Chicago Bears are more than likely going to not only win the division, but go to the bowl. So
yeah, and it's going to be nice to have him on talking about the Bears because the Bears Week 1 matchup's one of my games of the week. It's one of the ones that I'm queuing in on that I'm making sure I'm going to get to watch. So,
and that Week 2 matchup is even even better. So
Yeah, so
we all know
both their first two matchups are against the AFC South. They have the Titans in week 1 and Houston in week 2, and I think the Titans are going to be sneaky good. I love their offseason. I think the Titans are going to surprise a lot of people, and they're going to be a whole hell of a lot better than what most people think.
Well, we will see. Yeah, I mean, you picked up some new resources, so let's see. They cut Malik Willis, so we talked about that last week. But anyway, so we're going to talk about it. Week 1 of the NFL season, a few days away, and of course, we got a lot of interesting games for Week 1. As a matter of fact, we're going to get into some of the most intriguing matchups going into Week 1, because this is really where it's going to be fun here. And then next segment here, we should be giving you more updates on fantasy football. Fantasy football is going to be a regular part of this show, I can guarantee you. Especially, I'm in 3 leagues, by the way, Jacob. AJ, did you really have your draft?
Yes, sir. I had 2. I'm in 2 leagues now.
You're in 2 leagues.
One of my teams is super stacked. Like it's crazy.
Okay. Well, I tell you what. We're going to talk about it next segment. Yeah. I cannot wait. Jacob, how many teams do you have?
I'm on 3. It's miserable. It's too much to keep up with.
But it's fun.
I have 3. 2 paying leagues and a free league.
So you're sitting there like, a typical Sunday is you got your TVs going, more than one, right, plural, and then you have your laptop and maybe a notepad or iPad or something, and your cell phone, because you have to keep up with everything. And then it's funny because if one of your teams you're rooting for one player and the other, you're rooting against, and it's just crazy, man. But I'm looking forward to it, Jacob. And we're in the Sports Kings League, which is been running for a couple of years now, so this is going to be interesting. It's going to be fun. But what I really wanted to talk about here in this segment, Jacob, was some of the intriguing matchups here. Now, we know, the rematch between the two teams that played for the AFC Championship, that is going to be a good one. That sets the tone early between a team that's trying to do what no other team has ever done, and that's win 3 Super Bowls. The Chiefs are going to host the Baltimore Ravens on Thursday night. Jacob, it doesn't get any better than that.
Isn't that a sweet treat on Week 1? It's the best matchup in all of football, fans. Maybe the Chiefs and Bills, depending on who's starting and who's injured. And we get it. It's the very first game of the regular season. It feels so good. Like the NFL, what a nugget, right? Just a nice little nugget that they gave us as fans, that we get to watch the Chiefs go up against the Ravens in Arrowhead. And it's neither team took a step back. They both technically improved over the offseason somehow. No. So, it's going to be a great game, no matter what happens. If it's a defensive slugfest, great game. If it's an offensive powerhouse, great game.
Well,
it's just a treat.
It might be a defensive struggle. Right now, the point spread is 3 points for the Chiefs, which is not a lot, for a home opener and all the hype going into the season. I mean, they are the overwhelmingly favorite to win. I mean, to get back to the Super Bowl, or no, favorite to win it too. So, but a 3-point favorite here against, and the over/under is 46.5. So this is pretty interesting. But this is to set the tone for the AFC. I mean, this is really, somebody's going to lose. Someone's going to be one game behind the rest of the AFC. And then on Friday night, first ever, I think, NFL Friday night game. I've been around for a while. I can't ever. Oh, the Black Friday. Well, yeah, that one. That's right. Okay.
But Black Friday is also a little different.
Open up the season,
it's a semi-national holiday.
That's true. I mean, yeah, that was an interesting game. I think the Packers played that, if I'm not mistaken.
It was the Dolphins and the Jets, and that's when the Jets got blown out.
That's right, because, we know what happened to the Jets. But this Friday, this early season opener Friday, so you open up on Thursday night, and then you get a Friday night game, and the matchup here is no fluke. You got the Green Bay Packers, who finished the season hot, close to getting to the Super Bowl, right? Or getting to the, where they needed to be. And then you have the Eagles, who, man, they went the opposite direction to end the season. And this is a good NFC opener, Jacob.
this could be a showcase for the NFC Championship game, really depending on how the season shakes out. Both of them. The first two, how crazy is that? The first two games played of the regular season could be your AFC and NFC Championship games at the end of the year as well.
I think they know what they're doing when they do this, and I think
it's poetic. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean, this is by design. Anything the NFL does, trust me, they know what they're doing. These matchups, because teams are scheduled to play each other as far as conferences years in advance. But the NFL gets to choose some of these other games, and they know exactly what they're doing when they schedule these games. So are we going to see, is Green Bay going to pick up from where they left off, and are we going to see the Eagles, get it together with Saquon Barkley? It's going to be a different look for the Eagles, and Jordan Love, who comes off this, what was it, $212 million? Or what, was it something like that? I can't remember.
Something to that effect.
It was 200 plus. But so this is going to be good. So, when we talk about intriguing games to start the season, I think we have to have those two. We haven't even gotten to Sunday yet.
What's your favorite? What's your big Sunday matchup? Because we have the sick Thursday, Friday. What's your favorite Sunday matchup out of the opening week slate?
You know what? My favorite, could I have more than one? I want to have more than one and they both are involving Texas teams, okay? I think the Texans Colts is just going to be serious. It kind of ranks up there with the Packers and the Packers and the Eagles, because you're getting Anthony Richardson is coming back. The Colts at home, they read the papers or the press or what have you. They know all the hype is on the Texans right now. They are going to do everything possibly to ruin the Texans' season opener, and everyone knows that. And then you got the Dallas Cowboys and the Cleveland Browns. So this is interesting here. Cleveland at home, they're 2.5-point favorite. And by the way, the Texans are a 2.5 favorite to win over the Colts. But I think my other game, Jacob, is the Cowboys and the Browns, a team that just got destroyed by the Packers to end their season. And then you get the Browns, who everyone is trying to see what type of a quarterback Deshaun Watson is going to be. So this is interesting. Those are intriguing games. So you got AJ. What AJ smiling over there? So
you said talking about the Cowboys got destroyed, but you didn't say how the Browns got destroyed. See, that's what I'm saying.
Well,
Wow.
Wait a minute. Okay. Let me get there first. Okay, so the Texans destroyed the Browns. So, and this is why I'm keeping it in Texas. So, Jacob and AJ, those are my intriguing games for Sunday. The Texans game, thank goodness I get to watch both. The Texans get the early game, and then the Cowboys and Browns get the late game. Both Texas teams are on the road. So those are my intriguing games for Sunday.
Nice. I like those. This has honorable mention for two other games for the Sunday slate. The Broncos and the Seahawks ought to be good because we'll get a look at that Seahawk offense and defense now that it's finally healthy again. We'll get to see Geno, see if he one more year in that scheme, if that offense will click a little better, see if DK can get a couple more passes, see what Jackson Smith and Jigba does in the offense. And then we get to see Bo Nix start with the cast around him, and I think Sean Payton's going to pull off some magic with that Broncos team, unfortunately. I'm not a big Sean Payton fan, but I do think the Broncos are going to be good this year. And then the Rams-Lions. The Rams-Lions is another game that could be showcasing, the back end of the NFC conference. This is it. It could be a big game with large playoff ramifications come the end of the season.
Yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait. When we come back, a couple of more games that I want to bring to attention, like ones that you shouldn't watch at all, like turn off your TV, don't even pay attention. So, hey, we just moving right along here in this second hour of the Mean Gene Show right here on 97.5 ESPN.
You're listening to the Mean Gene Show
on ESPN 97.5 and 92.5.
For the Veritex Community Bank Studios, here's Mean Gene.
All right, we are back here as we are getting ready for the NFL season, which is going to kick off in less than 5 days here. Big Thursday night matchup defending Super Bowl champion Chiefs will host the Baltimore Ravens. Now, you know I hate the Ravens, so I can say that, especially being a Steelers fan, so I'm sorry. I don't think there's any Ravens fans on this side of the continent anyway. But, Jacob, we were talking about some of the most intriguing games to watch this week one. How about some games that people should just not watch at all? I mean, look, you would probably rather watch paint dry than watch the Vikings and the Giants. Because
it's going to be a bad game, I think.
Yeah, it's going to be an ugly game. 41.5 total points is already what they're projecting. I think it's going to be under 20. I just really do. You know, I mean, what we saw with Daniel Jones in the preseason, you know, maybe he might try to wipe that preseason away. But this matchup, and is it Sam Darnold that got the start for the Vikings? I mean, I don't know. I just don't think that's going to be good TV to watch.
It's going to be rough. I bet it's like 24-10. I bet Minnesota could put 24 points up between Aaron Jones and any assortment of their receivers and Sam Darnold. And the Giants are not going to score a lot of points. They'll be lucky to see 10. They're so bad.
Yeah, I mean that is the one game that you could probably watch a rerun of Lassie or I Love Lucy or something. AJ's like, I have no idea what the hell he's talking about.
I tell you what, when the Patriots Bengals comes on, I'm probably going to watch reruns of Love Boat. That's another game that's just not going to be any good.
Which one was that?
Patriots and Bengals.
Well, I think the Bengals are going to be interesting because it's going to be the return of Mr.
Joe Burrow.
And,
against the Patriots team with nothing going for it.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be an ugly game. If you're a Bengals fan, you're going to enjoy the hell out of this game.
That's true. If you're a
Patriots
fan, if you're a Bengals fan, it's going to feel good. It'll be a confidence game. You'll be able to see them light it up a little bit.
Look, of all the games, and just saying that, I didn't even – the point spread is 9. And it's going to be worse than that. I didn't even look at that. I just know this is going to be an ugly game here. And Jacoby,
I bet that over hits, though. The line's at 40.5 points. I bet that game goes over 40.5.
It could be 41 to this will be an ugly game. But nevertheless, I mean, just a couple of ugly matchups here. And, you know, I mean, hey, if you're a fan of these teams, we'll pray for you. And that's why we do the show on Sundays, because we're feeling like that. So it's going to be fun, okay? If you're a fan of the Patriots, it's your glory days are done with. But we'd like to see Jared Mayo might get his first win. That would be the upset of the week if the Patriots beat the Bengals. What about
a upset
game? Do you see? I mean, just looking at the schedule, I don't see what could be an upset. AJ, you anything stick out there?
No,
Browns beating the Cowboys. Would that be upset for you, right?
Well, you you said that the Browns are apparently your favorite, so I mean we'll see about that.
I mean,
because
just 2.5.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
but
I wouldn't be surprised if the Cowboys win.
Yeah, exactly, because we still don't know what Deshaun Watson is going to be.
I mean, I'm probably going to pick the Cowboys to win that game. I mean, if we see, you know, I mean, this is going to be a make or break game season for Deshaun Watson. How he started this game could determine the future of his status,
right?
Anyway. So
exactly, because if you look at this season too, if they underwhelm or something like that, I mean, you could look at the Browns trying to get out of that because I mean, his contract is so.
Yeah, they've already restructured.
Right,
that's just the beginning of getting out of it.
Mm-hmm.
You know? So anyway, well, you know, I got Deshaun Watson as one of my fantasy football quarterbacks, and I don't think I'm going to be starting him because the Dolphins and Jaguars. I think Tua. I think I'm going to have to go with him. But, AJ, I'm interested in hearing about this stellar lineup you got for this one fantasy football team.
Okay, so both were pretty solid. Well, the other one is solid too, but for my Yahoo one, like the team is really good. So, of course, like the first pick, I drafted CD. I did want to draft McCaffrey, but Trent Williams still hasn't signed a contract. So, I mean, obviously McCaffrey's electric, but you don't have that left tackle there.
That's
I mean,
a big position.
You know what I'm saying? Exactly. So I just go through the list. I said CD Lamb. First quarterback, Joe Burrow. Then I have Mike Evans, Josh Jacobs, James Cook, Mark Andrews, Jalen Waddle. On the bench, Jake Ferguson, Caleb Williams, Austin Eckler, Jordan Addison, Brendan Aubrey, Jake Elliott as a second kicker, and then the defense, Dallas and New York.
That bench sounds pretty stellar too, huh?
Yeah.
What do you think about that, Jacob?
I think that's a stacked team. Yeah, that's pretty good. Depending on however everybody else drafted, that's at least early season before injuries. Knock on wood. That's a stacked team.
That's the big thing. Yeah.
And speaking of Josh Jacobs, you know who tried to? Someone offered me a trade. I don't want to say his name, Jacob Meadows. Someone offered me a trade this week, and it was Javonte Williams and who else?
Rashid Rice.
And Rasheed Rice for Josh Jacobs.
He knew he wasn't going to take
I'm thinking Jacob I must have been drinking or something. I would hit the accept trade. I'm like, are you out of your mind?
Yeah,
and I
offered it late, hoping that you were celebrating after closing down a show. You went and had a couple drinks, and you were just going to click that accept button.
So you thought I was off the clock. I saw that. I'm like, wait a minute. I'm like, there's no way this came from Jacob. My co-host here is offering me a trade like this. But look, I feel bad for people who is stuck with Rasheed Rice because he will be suspended at some point in time. And it might be for more than 6 games. So that, I'm sure that's not the only wide receiver you have, Jacob.
No, it was just the only one that I wanted to give you.
But you wanted to give me a guy that I know that's going to get suspended and a running back that I've had like once before does nothing for me because the Broncos they're going to go with youth. They're going to go with McLaughlin. He's the guy that runs up and down the field. You know that too, Jacob.
Yeah, that's exactly why I tried to offload.
I took my medicine that day, Jacob. I knew you tried to catch me. I always take my medicine first thing in the morning, so I knew I had to be prepared for crazy-ass trade proposals like that. But the fact that they came from Jacob, you should have saw my face.
Got to keep you on your toes.
I'm thinking it was some other bozo in our league that knows nothing about football trying to make a trade with me like that.
He's trying to pull a fast one on you.
I almost hit that button by mistake, But I am the commissioner in that league, so I could have fixed that. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. See, that's the thing. See,
that's collusion. That
ain't collusion. Y'all voted me the commissioner. I'm the commissioner, so I could have accepted the trade and then turn around and denied it. that's the power the commissioner has, man. So anyway,
that would have been so much funnier.
Yeah, I know that would have been funny. So look, if you haven't did your draft by now, good Lord, what are you waiting on? I mean, there's probably a couple of leagues that will allow you to jump into the 12-team PPR, which I'm in, which there's some activity going on there. These guys are already trading. I'm not trading anyone in this sleeper league that I'm in because I have a squad. I have a squad, and those guys know I do, and they've been coming after me with trades. So, look, I got Tua at quarterback. I got Jonathan Taylor and David Montgomery. I got Chase, and I got Devontae Adams. I got Evan Ingram, and I got Waddle. I got Jerome Ford. I mean, this is a team. This and Zamir White. I got Gabe Davis, Cole Kmet, and the guy from Tennessee who we can never pronounce his name, the tight end.
Okonkwo, the tight end.
Okonkwo, who so I'm not making any trades. So anybody in that sleeper league, and I know those guys.
That's really good team.
Show. You like that team?
Yeah, for sure.
And I'm already projected to beat the brakes off my week 1 opponent. But, don't get caught up in the projections because they mean absolutely nothing. He has a pretty good team, too. I'm going up against Lamar Jackson, Jahmyr Gibbs, Najee Harris, Stephon Diggs, Cooper Kupp, Sam Laporta, Devin Singletary, Dallas Goedert. I mean, this is pretty good. So, I mean, I could lose. This is going to be pretty stellar. But I don't know. Stephon Diggs, you think the Texans go in heavy on him in the first game? There's too many wide receivers on the Texans team. Jacob?
Say that for me again, Gene. I'm sorry.
The Texans go in heavy with Stephon Diggs this week? I just think there's
No, I don't think
too
so.
many
I
wide
think there's
receivers.
too many mouths to feed. I think we run the ball more than pass to control the clock. I think Joe Mixon's going to get a lot of work. I think Cam Akers is going to get a lot of work. You'll see a lot of underneath stuff to Dalton Schultz and Tank Dell. I think Stephon Diggs probably has 4 catches for 56 yards. I don't think he's going to keep
Well,
much.
I mean, that
of
would
the rest of
satisfy
this
me for my fantasy football, league. But what are your matchups in your fantasy football, Jacob?
What are my matchups? You want mine from your league or the one that I drafted today?
Well, no. Who you playing up? I mean, this week, week 1, your week 1 matchup.
Matchup. Let me pull you up.
Yeah, I mean, because now this is in your Sports Kings league, right?
I was pulling up my Sports Kings, yeah.
Okay, all right. Well, you pulling up your Sports Kings league here. AJ, have you heard any word on Brock Purdy? I mean, he's really flying under the radar this year.
In terms of what, fantasy, or just talking about like
Fantasy, because he's just that quarterback you don't really pick.
Right.
He's always available.
right?
It just seems like he's always there. I don't think he's probably maybe 50% of the leagues. You know?
Yeah, I had some friends in other leagues pick him up, but yeah, sometimes he is pretty available as well. I guess like for insurance too, just in case someone has injury.
Yeah, I mean, because he's just not your 300 plus. I think we all look for those 300 plus passes, like we know Tua Valova. I always mess up his name.
Tagovailoa, yeah.
Yeah. So you can just, But I think look, when you got 2 wide receivers, you got a Tyreek Hill and a Waddle. You know they're gonna put the ball in the air,
Exactly.
and they can have a solid ground game.
Exactly.
That's what I like about the Dolphins. They just, when it comes to fantasy, I mean, Tua was a beast last year, and I'm looking forward to Jacob. You got your lineup.
Yeah, I got it all pulled up. I'm playing Sharma this week. We've got Lamar Jackson, CeeDee Lamb, Tay Adams, Isaiah Pacheco, Joe Mixon, Jake Ferguson, James Cook, Harrison Butker, and the Miami defense. I've got a hard week 1 in my Sports King lineup.
All right. Well, I like it. You got to beat Denny. By the way, he's a Sports Kings member also. So anytime you can beat either Dustin or Denny, it's a good thing. You can't
Feels
beat
good.
me.
Yeah. I've got the talent to do so if Christian McCaffrey really turns it on.
You do.
I'm going to need a big game out of McCaffrey to pull it off, seeing as how Jerry Judy's in my lineup.
All right.
We'll see.
We will see. Well, I'll tell you another thing we're going to see, and that's the NFC North. We're going to be talking about that here at the bottom of the hour. Stick around. Nephew Tony's coming up to talk about those Chicago Bears. You're listening to The Mean Gene Show with Jacob Meadows right here on ESPN 97.5.
This is the Mean Gene Show
On ESPN 97.5 and 92.5.
from the Veritex Community Bank Studios. Here's Mean Gene.
All right, getting ready to bear down here at the bottom of the second hour of The Mean Gene Show with Jacob Meadows joining us. And look, first hour we talked NFC South. Now we're going to get into the NFC North. And look here, we're going to do this with the family, okay? You guys, look, Steve Harvey has nephew Tommy. Well, Mean Gene has nephew Tony. And I am more than happy to bring on my nephew, who is just the biggest Chicago Bears fan that I've ever known. He's also a professional barber, has his own barbershop there in Chicago, which we have broadcast a show from there many years ago, which was fun. So his barbers are the best in the world. But my nephew here, his sports knowledge, it's up there. It's up there, Jacob, with yours and Dustin. It hasn't caught up with mine yet, but he's getting there.
Of course not.
So anyway, I'm more than happy to bring on nephew Tony. Tony, you with me?
Uncle Gene, how you doing, man? Uncle Gene, Sports Kings.
Hey,
What's going on, baby?
doing great, man. We look here. Before I even, you're on with Jacob Meadows, and look, we're getting ready to talk NFC North here. Now, I don't need to tell you this, but I have to tell my listeners this, okay? We know the last time the Bears won that division was in 2018. Now, what's unique about that was the year after they fired John Fox, right? And then you're bringing a guy by the name of Matt Nagy, who goes 12-4, lose to the Eagles in the division rounds, but everybody thought Matt Nagy was the man.
They should have won that game, though, Uncle Gene. They lost that game on that missed field goal.
I remember that. I do remember that. But I'm just looking at back then and look where we are now. I mean, it's just been crazy. Now, Eberflus is the coach. They ran Matt Nagy out of town, but, man, his career looked so promising at that time, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. It did. It looked like the right decision at the time. But the quarterback situation has always been a problem in Chicago.
And, boy, that's why we got you on now because, look, me and you have talked off the air, and you know the things we say off the air, they ain't really made for radio. Hell, they ain't even made for TV, some of the things we talk about because we done had some deep arguments. You know, I can argue with my nephew, AJ. AJ's my producer here. And he has a son by the name of AJ, too, by the way.
Great name.
So look, let's talk about this. Yeah, because it's the quarterback situation that probably got all those coaches fired, right? You remember when I was in Chicago covering the Bears when Mark Trestman was there, and I think that was back in the Jay Cutler days, if I'm not mistaken. But this quarterback you have now, Caleb Williams. Look, the whole world gets to watch the Bears this year with Hard Knocks and stuff we saw. I mean, it's really, you have convinced me in what I've seen in those preseason games. I know they don't matter, but they mattered for him. Where do you think Caleb Williams is going to take the Bears this year?
Man, I say my floor would be missing the playoffs, and my ceiling would be in the Super Bowl. I'll tell you, I love that you can watch Caleb Williams and see that he's special. He's special. He is not Justin Fields. You're going to get some wins with them. They won 7 games with Justin Fields. I'm looking at the Bears to give me 11 to 12 wins, and I'm going to tell you, last year we had Detroit beat twice. We had them down 14 points with 4 minutes and some change to go, and they gave up that game. We beat them the second time. Green Bay has beat us both times last year, but after we got Montez Sweat, that last game was a close game. Caleb Williams can be a difference maker. He can be a difference maker, I believe. And I think with the weapons they put around him, no quarterback as a first-round number 1 pick ever came into a situation like this. Caleb Williams coming into something that is going to be special for the next 10 years. They got DJ Moore on that great contract. You can re-sign Keenan Allen, but if you don't, you still got room on Doomsday. The big pickup, I think, for me was Darrell Taylor from Seattle, because everybody's talking about Caleb Williams and the offense, but I tell you this, the Bears, if they don't get another pass rusher on the opposite side of Montez Sweat, if Montez Sweat go down, the Bears season could be over. If Montez go down for any serious amount of time, the Bears season can be over, because with no pass rush, their defense is suspect.
You know what, Jacob, listening to Tony here, I mean, he makes a good case that that Caleb Williams comes into a cushy situation. How do you compare it to the one that C.J. Stroud came into?
I mean, it's a little different just because the situation Caleb Williams is stepping into is so much better, right? C.J. Stroud was the worst team in the league, or second worst team in the league. We didn't have – we built the talent around C.J. Caleb Williams is stepping into an all-star, all-pro cast. Like you said, you have Keenan Allen, you have DJ Moore. DeAndre Carter's a good, serviceable, rotational wide receiver. They bring in DeAndre Swift. So it's different than what C.J. Stroud had. I think Caleb Williams could easily have a better rookie season on paper than Stroud was ever projected to, just because of the sheer amount of talent around him.
Okay. Now, we got 2 minutes. Give me your NFC North division breakdown in your order 1, 2, 3, 4.
I like
1, 2, 3.
I like all the teams in there, and I'm sad that J.J. McCarthy got hurt because I think J.J. McCarthy would have came out there and got some time this year. That would have been beneficial to him. But I'm gonna put Minnesota at number 4. I'm gonna go number 3. It's gonna be tough, man. Those 3 teams are good. I'm gonna go number 3, the Packers, and they might have 10 or 11 wins. I'm gonna go number 2, Detroit. But I think the Bears have the best defense if they stay healthy, and they got the best offense. Special teams are outstanding, and that kicker they took in the 5th round is going to be a weapon all this year. When the Bears go 3 and out, he's going to put you inside the 20. I'm taking the Bears to win that division with 12 games, man. I know people don't want to hear it, don't want to believe it, but the Bears got something special. And if they stay healthy, they're going to be great.
You know, we're going to talk about week 2 of the season. Now, you know, we get to see what's probably going to be some must-see TV. I can't wait to see how the media is going to hype this up because you know they are. You get C.J. Stroud and Caleb Williams. The Bears come to town. I know the Bears roll deep. They will try to come to town here with all that orange and blue. And I'm going to tell you right now, nephew, I love you.
They travel well.
We're going to stop your ass at the airport. We going to let y'all come in here
Too many of them
and
coming,
take
Uncle
over
G.
H-Town. It ain't happening.
It's gonna be a different place whenever they come to H-Town, man.
It's gonna be different when they go anywhere.
I know. Look, Bears fans do roll deep. They do. And I cannot wait. We're looking ahead. I know both teams got to get past week 1 here.
Exactly.
But hey, nephew, I knew you was going to come on here and represent. Well, you always do.
I have to, man.
All right. Well, look here. Say hi to the wife and kids, and your mom. I need to call her, but we'll talk about that off there. You know, we got family business, right?
Yeah.
All right. Hey, love you, nephew. We'll catch up with you.
Man, always a pleasure to be on the Mean Gene Sports King show, man. I appreciate you reaching out. You can reach me at Cut It Out Barbershop, 7140 West Grand Avenue in Chicago, Illinois. And, man, bear down, baby. Caleb here. We coming.
All right. Woo.
Bear down.
All right. Y'all heard it. Hey, look here. Bear down. You know what? We're going to take a break. And when we come back, we're going to just break down everything that nephew Tony said, Jacob, because he got some interesting stuff, especially if his third-place team in that division is winning 10 or 11 games, then that could make for an interesting NFC North. We'll break it down here. In our last segment here, folks, you listen to the Mean Gene Show with Jacob Meadows right here on ESPN 97.5. The whole time, you know, I felt the presence. I had a lot of room to maneuver. You know, when you come in and you bring a whole bunch of stuff. So I actually had the whole desk, you know, to spread out here, Jacob. You telling me it's going to be like that next week, too? Is Jacob still with us?
Yes, sir. I am still with you. I'm a little hard of hearing. This whole call-in thing's a little tough on this. I'm using my work phone. It is the quality is not what it could be. I'm gonna have AJ call my other phone.
Well, I was saying nothing but good things about you, so you didn't really miss nothing. Okay.
Sure, yeah.
Here's the deal. What do you think about nephew Tony?
I liked his takes. I think he's real high on the Bears. Year one of Caleb Williams, but I like him. I liked it a lot.
Yeah, yes, he is real high on the Bears, and Bears fans are like that though.
They are. They always have been. Yeah,
despite
not having a quarterback
the case, though, that this quarterback is different. I mean, look, we try not to look ahead for week 2. Because the comparisons, people are going to make the comparisons. I can't believe I'm trying not to make the comparisons. I'm just saying there's going to be some good TV to watch. Texans versus Bears. The Bears will come to town deep. I saw that in Vegas a couple of years ago when I thought I was in Chicago. I've never seen so many Bears fans, and they beat the Raiders in that game. Not only did they come to town, they came to town and showed out and beat a Raiders team that didn't see that coming. This Texans team is going to be a little, too tough for that. But, Jacob, your thoughts on just the NFC North structure there? Look, it's hard to just overlook what the Packers did and the Lions. We talked about it early on, Jacob. There's every year a team that made the playoffs. Sometimes a team that go deep into the playoffs don't make it the next year. The Lions could be that team.
There's always a team that does that. I don't think the Lions are the team that does that. I think the Packers would be out of this division. But yeah, I think this division does have a team that saw the playoffs last year that will not see the playoffs again this year, whether it be Detroit or whether it be Green Bay. I think one of those two missed completely. Yeah. I'm 50% in agreement with you on that.
Now, if Anthony's right, or nephew Tony's right, then I'm actually, it could be something to watch. If he's got the third place team with 11 wins, or, then you could get 3 teams in the playoffs, and I could see that. If the Bears turn out to have a good season and the Lions and Packers just continue from what they did, it could be interesting. I still think the Vikings, I think everybody agrees that the Vikings are last place. You too, AJ?
Yeah, I think so too, especially with JJ getting hurt. Because I think really it would have been good for him and Justin Jefferson, even Jordan Addison, to form a rapport in year one. So I think maybe next year they'll do better. I think you can't do worse than what Sam Darnold potentially could do. Sam Darnold could
be wrong.
Right, that's what I'm saying. But it's always up and down with him too.
You're talking about giving chances, man.
Right.
I interviewed him when he got drafted there in Dallas when they hosted the NFL draft when he got drafted by, was it the Jets?
Yeah, it was the Jets.
So it was, didn't think that he would go from he went to the Panthers, I think. Then he went to 49ers.
Right.
He's on his 4th team, and that draft was only, 6-7 years ago?
2018.
So, I don't know, Jacob. Who's your top order of finish there in the NFC North?
My order, I have a feeling that mine's going to be pretty similar to yours. I've got the Vikings in last place. I definitely think they round out the cellar. Not even just because of the injury to McCarthy, but just overall. But 2 and 3 is tough. I've got right now. I would have to put the Bears at 3, Packers at 2, and the Lions at 1. But it very, very easily could be Lions 1, Bears 2, Packers 3.
Yeah.
I do have a feeling the Packers miss the playoffs altogether. And if the Bears click, they click, right? They have all the talent. One of the things that, nephew Tony said was that his floor was 9 wins, ceiling was the Super Bowl. My ceiling for the Bears is the Super Bowl. The floor is much lower, but the ceiling is a Super Bowl because of all the talent. So just for sake of argument, it'd be Vikings at 4, Packers at 3, Bears at 2, Lions at 1, I think is going to be my pick.
Well, here's the crazy thing here, and I think things will be determined quite early. I know there's 17 games in the season. We all know the back end is not so much important sometimes. It is and it isn't. Look, the Vikings should beat the Giants on Sunday, okay? So that would give the Vikings a win. I think the Titans are going to beat the Bears, and I know that game is in Chicago. Bears are a 4-point favorite, but I think if the Bears beat them, then boy, the rhetoric is only going to get more intense. But if they lose to the Titans and then they come to Houston and lose to the Texans, then you're talking about an 0-2 Bears. I'm just saying here. But Jacob, your pick is exactly what I have. I have the Vikings finishing last. I have the Bears in 3rd place. I have the Packers in 2nd, and I got the Lions. I think that's pretty much the way it ended last year. I think maybe the Bears were worse, I think, than the Packers in that division last year. But that's the way I have it, and I think I would like to see the Lions repeat. It's just something. The way that Super Bowl, the way the NFC Championship game was coached, I don't know if Dan Campbell doesn't change his coaching style. I don't know, man. I mean, there was opportunities for that team. Their window is shorter than any team that I've ever seen. Even the Buffalo Bills have been able to string along some great seasons, but I don't see that. We're talking Jared Goff. I don't see. I could see the Lions going from first to worst easily. I really can.
I like the Lions this year. I see a lot of people have an issue with the way Dan Campbell does because he's so aggressive, right? He goes for it on fourth down. He runs fake punts and whatnot. But those things can only fail so many times. They barely came up short last year, and I don't think that he changes the way that he does things.
He doesn't.
I think that they might lean his way this year. They have so much talent. If Laporta comes back on as strong as he was, Lamont St. Brown looks as good as he did last year. Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery both look as good as they did. Their offensive line is healthy. Their defense is phenomenal. They have some questions at quarterback with C.J. Gardner-Johnson leaving and Emmanuel Mosley going back down on season-ending IR. But Detroit they have everything in place. They're loaded to make a run. And I don't know. I like Detroit this season. I think they build on last year's stellar season, and I think Dan Campbell might finally make it. He might make it to the big game this year.
Man, okay. Well, we shall see. All right. So we've covered every division in football, and now with just a couple of minutes left to go in the show, because when we come back here next Sunday, man, it's all in. We got scores, highlights, updates, you name it, real time action happening, and all of the games will be over with by the time we get on the air, except for the Sunday night game, which we'll give you updates on that starting next week. But man, it's going to be fast paced. Look, according to NFL News, and the Super Bowl is going to be in New Orleans in 2025. The Chiefs are heavily favored. Some folks are picking Chiefs over Packers. There's some folks are picking Chiefs over Lions. Some folks are picking Chiefs over the Eagles. Some people are saying Chiefs and the 49ers again. So then we have, I don't see any Cowboys. I'm sorry, AJ. I'm looking here.
That's fine.
I see.
I don't see the Steelers either.
I don't see the Pittsburgh Steelers either. That's a good one. So, Packers over Jets. Yeah, whoever that's a fat chance. That's not going to happen. But look here, I'm gonna give you what I got. AFC Championship game. Are you ready for this? I got the Texans and the Chiefs in the AFC Championship game. Okay.
I like that.
NFC Championship game, I have Eagles and 49ers. So if I had to go with a Super Bowl from there, it's looking more like Chiefs and Eagles or 49ers. I can't, and that's not, because these teams are the cream of the crop. And in the NFC, things could change. Atlanta could make a case for having a good run, but it's going to be interesting to see, Jacob. This is why they play the game for a Super Bowl. I guess I would just go ahead and say Chiefs, Eagles to make it official, but who knows? The Eagles scare me a little bit,
So that we almost have the same picks for the championship games. That's, it's hard to pick against them, right? I have Texans v. Chiefs in the AFC Championship as well. The NFC Championship, I have Eagles versus the Lions. But that's just because I don't believe in the Kyle Shanahan experiment this year. I think between Brandon Ayuk being a distraction with his contract and them having to feed the three-headed monster a little differently, and then all the other small things going around the San Francisco organization, I don't think they end up making the Super Bowl. But Eagles, Lions, Chiefs, Texans. So it's going to be a great season.
It's going to be a great one. And look, folks, next week, make sure you join us, okay? We're going to have all of your highlights and analysis and everything from week one. It's been a great show, AJ. Thank you for everything you do. And we want to thank Dustin Pfeiffer and nephew Tony for coming on representing. And Jacob, hey, we'll be back here next week, folks. Don't forget Thursday night, Ravens and Chiefs. You have been listening to the Mean Gene Show right here on ESPN 97.5 H-Town.
Desde un viaje personal hacia una mejor salud hasta convertirse en una sensación viral en TikTok. Descubre los beneficios transformadores para la salud de Mayla Mi Amor. Con suplementos que apoyan una dieta sana y un estilo de vida activo, los productos Mayla Mi Amor cuentan con la confianza de miles de familias. Infórmate, lee las extraordinarias críticas y haz tu pedido ahora en maylamiamor.com. Es maylamiamor.com. Mayla Mi Amor. Cheers to a long, healthy life.
How often do you think about your internet? Probably only if it's slowing your streaming, stalling your gaming, and making your surfing pretty slow. Am I right? And there's a high possibility you're overpaying for underperforming service. No, thank you. With the help of the internet experts at highspeedinternet.com, you can find answers to all of these questions and more. Compare and save on all the plans, deals, and internet service providers in your area. Get the best internet for the best price at highspeedinternet.com. We're the internet experts.
To make switching to the new Boost Mobile risk-free, we're offering a 30-day money-back guarantee.
So why wouldn't you switch from Verizon or T-Mobile?
Because you have nothing to lose. Boost Mobile is offering a 30-day money-back guarantee.
No, I asked why wouldn't you switch from Verizon or T-Mobile?
Oh.
Wouldn't.
Because you love wasting money as a way to punish yourself because your mother never showed you enough love as a child?
Whoa. Easy there.
Yeah.
Applies to online activations. Requires port in and auto pay. Customers activating in stores may be charged non-refundable activation fees.